Welcome to this edition of our SMA International News for the month of June. In this edition, we have stories from Spain where we hear about a pilgrimage organised by the SMA and friends of the SMA there. And then from France, we hear how the bishops from Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands paid a visit to a missionary parish in France. And finally from Rome, where the founding members of the ICOF programme met together recently at the SMA General Event. First we go to Spain, where the SMA members and friends of the SMA organised a pilgrimage to Italy. This pilgrimage, called Return to the Source, is an annual pilgrimage programme to SMA historic sites organised by the province of Spain.
In the province of Spain each year, we organise what we call the Return to the Source, a programme of visitation to the SMA fathers who have made their mark on history and the SMA. And this year we went to Italy to see our confrere, Francisco Borghero. We hear about him every time we are in mission, but we don't know who he is, what he did, where he lived. So we went to see him. We shared the Eucharist with his people, the people of his village. And after visiting the confreres who were there, we finished today with the visit to the OLA sisters who are in Milan. Our visit has ended and we're going back to Madrid very happy, especially to have seen where the first came out of Italy, the first who made their mark in the map of Africa, who helped understand mission deeply, to see where he was buried, where he lived. We want to share this joy with everyone, with the whole SMA, and if by chance someone wants to come to Spain, because we also have great confreres in Spain, you can also come and visit. So we're very happy. We're going back home very happy to have walked in the footsteps of a great man.
I come from Granada. I'm a member of the Friends of SMA in Granada. I came on this pilgrimage with the SMA group from Madrid. It was a very enriching experience that filled both my soul and my heart. I felt it was very family friendly, very beautiful. The experience was very wonderful. I felt a strong emotion when putting the plaque on the grave of Father Borghero. The Mass, with the participation of many priests, touched me a lot. It was a very beautiful experience. The group of friends who were present got along very well. There were different moments of the pilgrimage, moments of prayer, moments of recreation, moments of reflection on why we were here, why we decided to come. Frankly, it gave me great satisfaction because it enriched me. Thank you so much.
There's a Spanish proverb that says, "He who does not know does not love." And this is to say that knowing the history of the Society of African Missions gives us a greater understanding and a reason to love the SMA even more. The pilgrimage was about going to meet Borghero, an exceptional personality in the history of evangelization in West Africa. For me, it was a very important moment to stand there before Borghero's tomb in prayer. Prayer for the African missions, prayer for Africa. And it's also an important trip that allowed us to know the size and the scope of the SMA family. We went to see the SMA fathers, the SMA family of Genoa, the laity, the OLA sisters of Milan. Bonds intensify during these kinds of trips. And this is why, for me, it seemed like a very important trip and something very valuable. Something that gives us enough courage to continue the work of our mission.
Also be first, most especially visiting the village of Francesco Mangel. I've read about him in books. I've read about him. We've been taught about him so many times in Calabria preparation program, even in the course of our formation. But this is the first time I've been in touch with him. Seeing the house where he was born, there, right? Seeing his grave, the parish he attended, and the people who lived around him. So I'm very happy. I hope to see more of these places of missionaries who are giving their life for the mission in Africa.
Next, we go to Lyon in France, where the bishops of Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands paid a visit to a missionary parish in Lyon on their way to Rome for their ad limina visit. The SMA parish of St. Josephine Bakita hosted them. The choice of venue was a source of great joy for the priests and the people of the parish, who gathered in large numbers to welcome the bishops.
Indeed, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring the good news, those who announce salvation and peace. It is with this entrance song that on the feast of St. Joseph the Worker, also secularly known as Labor Day on the 1st of May, that St. Thomas Church, which is part of the larger St. Bakita parish in Lyon, France, under the stewardship of the Society of African Missions, ushered in 13 bishops from Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands. The bishops are on a pilgrimage to France on their way to Rome for their ad limina visit.
What happened last year was that we were informed that our bishops were called for the visit ad limina this year by May 2023. You know, the visit ad limina, the visit that all the bishops of the world in groups by countries make to the Pope and to Rome, to the dicasteries of the Holy See, to have a conversation there about their apostolate, their ministry, problems, issues of the church and society. And we thought that as a good preparation for it, we could, as we come from a very remote place in the Pacific, on our way to Rome, we could stop over in France for about 1 week and make a pilgrimage to spiritual sites that are meaningful for the church and are particularly meaningful for the Pacific. A lot of missionaries, a really great number of missionaries, came from this part of France and this part of the world to evangelize countries such as those of the Pacific, including ours, Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands.
How do you feel that St. Thomas was chosen the bishop to come and celebrate this evening?
Actually, I was surprised because I felt that they would have gone to a different parish, maybe in the center of Lyon, where it's more populated. But at the same time, I was happy that we were chosen because our parish is really a missionary parish, and as SMAs and as OAs, we try to show this missionary spirit, and I see that this evening it was evident, this missionary spirit coming from all over the world, and the Mass was really beautiful. I'm really happy that we were chosen for this celebration.
We have total 19 dioceses in Papua New Guinea and 3 dioceses in the Solomon Islands. Both countries formed together, we have one bishops' conference. And coming to the celebration today, we really felt that we are a church universal. We had the communal presence of, I think, people from all the continents of the world today here.
My impression about the Mass, I found it very interesting because there was active participation and St. Thomas Church received the bishops very well.
The Mass was very beautiful with a lot of bishops and we were given good message and I appreciated the Mass.
It is an honor. With all the parishioners, we prepared ourselves to welcome with joy the bishops who have come to discover our cultural diversity at St. Joseph in Bakita, which is our parish. All our parishioners are very happy with this visit, and even the bishops observed that our parish is very dynamic and were pleasantly surprised by the warm welcome that was reserved for them. It is equally a joy for the Society of African Missions because we had 7 priests of African Missions who were also present at the celebrations.
And finally, we go to Rome, where members of the congregations who founded the ICOF program met together on the 29th of May. They gathered at the SMA General to celebrate and share memories.
Gathered on Monday, May the 29th, by invitation of the SMA General Council, the members of the Union of General Councils, founders of the Intercongregational Ongoing Formation, ICOF programme, shared a moment of prayer, exchange and conviviality. 5 general councils make up this union, namely the General Council of the Sisters of Our Lady of the Apostles, OLA, of the Congregation of the Holy Spirit, the Spiritan Fathers, of the Missionaries of Africa, White Fathers, of the Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of Africa, MSOLA, commonly called White Sisters, and of the Society of African Missions. This encounter is a tradition that is usually held before a General Assembly or General Chapter of one of the founding congregations. This year the tradition was held for the Sisters of Our Lady of the Apostles, who will have their General Chapter from July the 8th to August the 7th, and for the Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of Africa, MSOLA, who already had their chapter from May the 1st to May the 22nd. They both expressed their joy and satisfaction being part of this union.
For OLA, collaborating in an initiative like ICOF, it opens us to different horizons, different experiences. Collaborating male-female, we're all missionaries with an African focus, but we're male, we're female, we're different age groups, we have different experiences, and we've learned a lot in the process that has helped us as a congregation internally afterwards. And I think the path to collaboration is not an easy path. We have to learn how to understand each other's motivation, understand where we're coming from, and journey together. It's a real synodal journey where we take small steps together, and we've grown in our appreciation, our understanding of each other, and what it means to actually listen and collaborate with others and have to take on board different perspectives and different ideas. It has really helped us to grow as sisters and as a congregation.
So I'm very grateful today to be part of the gathering that was organized as gratitude to God for the collaboration existing between the different institutes to start ICOF. The witness that I have witnessed from sisters, brothers, priests who have attended ICOF, it has really been a time of renewal, spiritually, physically, and mentally. In such, people feel revitalized to go back to their mission, but also I have witnessed sisters who come to the community who engage in this transformation from oneself, and then it is shared in the community. The collaboration, it is a witness to me when we come and talk of the issue of new culture of collaboration. Our different charisms, they are gifts that when they are put together, they bring up something even beautiful. And my experience from the little experience that I have is that when the charism meets with another charism, it challenges you to open up more, even to discover your own potentials, and we encourage each other from our different capacities, from our different gifts to bring up something beautiful. So I'm hoping that this collaboration, as it grows, it opens also the doors to extend this beautiful gift of energizing each other for the mission that God has entrusted to us, to many other who will indeed this experience. Actually, I'm very, very grateful to God that apart from the administration that is done, that we can still come together and pray together to thank God, even just to say to Him, we are lost, come at our aid. And that is, I think, the basis of my prophetic witness. And for this, I'm very, very grateful. And I encourage many other religious, come to ICOF. You will be renewed, and you'll be grateful. You will be energized for the mission. Thank you.
The main objective of the Intercongregational Ongoing Formation Programme, ICOF, set up by these 5 congregations, is to make available opportunities for ongoing formation in Africa for priests and religious. The ICOF programme is held in Tanzania and Côte d'Ivoire and will soon open its doors in other African countries.
And now for some general information. From June 12th to the 25th, the Plenary Council will be held in Lyon in France. This Plenary Council will be the last of the present mandate before the General Assembly of 2025. A special edition will cover the daily activities of the Plenary Council, which you will be able to follow on your different communication channels. And so that brings us to the end of this edition of our SMA International News for the month of June. We hope that you will join us again next month when we will have more stories and information about SMA mission.